Hey everybody, my name is Mark Quepit and this is the Sacred Sexuality Project, where we help you live a higher expression of your sexuality. And today what I'm going to be talking about is how you can be more attractive to women. Now, having women be attracted to you, that's nice and all, but that's really not the most important thing in the world. However, many of us are very concerned with it. And ironically, one of the things that you need in order to have women be attracted to you is to not really care so much about women being attracted to you. What I'm going to be talking about today is the recipe you need to create in yourself so that you are a candidate for true, mature love. If you are capable of this true, mature love, then automatically you will be attractive to any woman who is seeking that. So the way that I see it, there are two main things that someone needs to have if they want to be capable of having a meaningful, loving romance. The first thing that they need to do is they need to have their own shit together. They need to be self-directed, they need to be comfortable with themselves, and they need to have their own passions and be able to be okay on their own. The second thing you need is the ability to grow with someone. You need to have compassion and empathy so that you can connect with another person and grow alongside of them so that you can create something better together than you were on your own. So this first point, this idea that you need to be totally okay by yourself is getting much more popular in the self-development kind of stuff, especially for men. If you go on NoFap or some other board where you have guys, complaining that, they can't find a girl or they really want a girl or something like that, you're going to find someone in there who's going to say, hey man, you just need to focus on yourself. You just need to man up and you need to find your own passions. You need to be all right being on your own. The idea is sort of like, the less you need a woman, the more attracted they are to you. Because what that is, that's confidence. That's confidence and that's self-assuredness and self-directedness. Women want to be wanted, not needed. Okay, think about it. If you absolutely need a woman, then how special does that make the one that you're actually with? Here's a weird analogy, but I think it'll kind of illustrate why women are attracted to men who don't really need them. That they want them, but they don't really need them. So imagine that you were a brewer, okay? Like you make beer, and you're very passionate about your beer, and you viewed each beer as a total representation of yourself. It was your craft. So as this brewer, what's going to make you feel better? Is it going to make you feel better when a beer connoisseur comes in and loves your beer? Or is it going to make you feel better when an alcoholic comes in and pounds your beers? Clearly, it's going to make you feel better when it's the connoisseur, because the connoisseur, they don't need alcohol. They are passionate about alcohol. The alcoholic, on the other hand, they need the alcohol to make themselves feel whole, to make themselves feel okay. And it's the same thing with women and guys. If a guy needs a girl, then the girl is going to be able to sense that. She's going to be able to understand that she is almost a commodity in this situation. She's filling in some gap that you have open inside of you. And that's far less fulfilling than real love. A mature woman doesn't want to be a mother to her significant other, But you see this in relationships all the time. You have the guy who's basically a big man baby, and the woman, she's got a very strong nurturing side, so she kind of nurtures him and takes care of him and stuff because he can't do it on his own. Now that's a symbiotic relationship, and a lot of people function like that, but it's going to put limits on the heights that the love and the passion can really reach. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You need to man up and take charge of your life. You need to do the things that matter. You need to pursue your passions. If you don't know what your passions are, then get off your ass and go find them. If you don't feel good about yourself, then start meditating or praying and connect to the truth that you are already a good and wonderful person who is deserving of love, and then go out and act in a way that proves that to yourself. Go to the gym, work, study, play, live your life to the fullest. You do that, first of all, your life's going to get way better, and secondly, I'm sure that some girl is going to find you quite attractive in your newfound confidence and love of life. Like I said, these kinds of thoughts, they've become rather popular today, and you probably heard them more or less before, but it doesn't hurt to hear it again, ever. But this is only half of the equation. If you really want to have this true kind of love that I'm talking about. The other half of the equation is that you need to be able to grow with that person. You need to be able to harmonize with someone. You need compassion and empathy. Because otherwise, if you're just a person who follows your own desires, then, that just means you're selfish, right? If you're not doing it to build a bigger, better connection that leads to more love, then you're just really doing it for yourself. And that's actually going to be an obstacle to creating a true passion, a true romance. I want you to think about love as a total gift of oneself and a total acceptance of another. I want you to think about love and romance as striving for a purely additive connection. And what I mean by additive is that you're not taking from the other person to fill in your own gaps. No, you are striving to be a fully integrated person yourself so that you don't need the other person. Because if you need the other person, then you're missing something and you're taking from them and using it to fill yourself in. Okay? Don't want that, because that's subtractive. It's not only adding together, that's taking away from each other. It's just moving energy around. It's not building anything new. The point is for both sides, the male and the female side, to be able to stand fully and happily on their own. And when they're able to do that, when they come together, it's just that much better. It's that much more. And there's nothing wrong with helping each other get to that point, but that should be the goal. You should be striving for that instead of just settling for some state of codependence. So the key to love and sexuality really is balance and polarity between the masculine and the feminine. And lately I've been focusing an awful lot on the masculine. And the more that I put energy into that, the more I realize that I need to bring in some more of the feminine. And in order to remedy that situation, I'm thinking about bringing my fiance, Holly, onto the show sometime and get her on here to give some of the feminine perspective and balance things out. So let me know what kinds of topics and things you would like to see me and Holly discuss together. Maybe if you have questions specifically for her, for just a feminine perspective in general, in context of all the stuff that we talk about here. Leave your questions and comments below. Sign up for my newsletter, The Masculine Edge, where I give you some insight each week. And stay clean and be awesome.